We already know that you have a very good interest in learning, and the world's learning cultures. So today we have brought you the list of the most famous libraries in the world, which holds and carries a world of knowledge and experience stories. The library is the universe of knowledge, because libraries are worth a lot more than that explanation. They carry knowledge, education, experience, cultures and many more from generation to generation. That is why they are such important, and people love them. Libraries play an unbeatable role in almost all students' paths of success. In this video, we're going to show you the most famous libraries in the world. Please go to the video and see what are those. Library of Congress, Washington, USA. In Washington, D.C., the Library of Congress is basically the National Library of the United States, and the well-known oldest government cultural institution in the country. And also one of the most famous libraries in the USA. Although it comprises just 3 buildings, it is the world's largest store and volume library. As a Congress research facility, only members of the Congress, the judges of the Supreme Court, and other government officials can examine books. However, they are available to the general public for on-site research and tourism attractions. The library is officially the last resort library in the United States, and is responsible for providing specific articles to other national libraries, where all other avenues are exhausted. Bodleian Library, Oxford, United Kingdom. The Bodleian Library is on the list of the oldest libraries in Europe, and is now on the list of the most famous libraries in the world. Established in 1602 as the Oxford University Bibliotheca. The library contains about 11 million objects, many of which have historical significance, 4 copies of the Magna Carta, the Bible of Gutenberg, and the first folio of Shakespeare, dated 1623. And also this is one of the very famous libraries in literature. Though Bodleian has several structures, Radcliffe Camera, erected between 1737 and 1749 for Radcliffe Science Library, was arguably the most visually fascinating. Radcliffe, England's first circular library, has surpassed its renown for 15 minutes by starring in several movies. Includes Young Sherlock Holmes, The Saint, The Red Violin, and The Golden Compass. Reading room at the British Museum, England. In the heart of the museum's Great Court stands the Reading Room of the British Museum, one of the world's most famous libraries. The dome-plated facade of the structure preserves a unique inner ceiling of a particular paper fabric, another first on our list. Access was restricted to registered scholars for much of the room's existence, which attracted visitors such as Karl Marx, Oscar Wilde, Mahatma Gandhi, Rudyard Kipling, George Orwell, Mark Twain, Lenin, and H.G. Wells. This library is one of the most famous libraries in the whole of Europe, and a significant portion of the collection has moved to the new British Library in 2000. A reading center and a conservation collection of art and history related to the collections of Brie are now in the reading room. Yale University Beinecke Book and Manuscript Library, Connecticut, USA. Yale University is the largest structure to preserve rare books and manuscripts, which is undoubtedly the best in the world alone. When we talk about the famous libraries in history, this one holds its place almost at the top. It is the largest store in the world to save rare books and manuscripts. The outstanding resources of the library is celebrating in its special collections by significant authors, such Rudyard Kipling, D.H. Lawrence, and Joseph Conrad. The center shelf area of Beinecke consists of glass walls, and gentle light to shelter the art against direct sunlight. The library exhibition hall is open to the public as a tourist attraction. It showcases many of the rarity of the library, including one of just 4. Vatican Library, Vatican City, Rome. The Vatican Library is on the list of the oldest libraries globally and a very famous library in history. It is under the pastoral responsibility of the Catholic Church in Rome. Although legally set up in 1475, The foundation dates back to the establishment of the Catholic Church in early incarnations. The library has contributed historical purchases, generous legacies, and lovely donations to its collection for almost 600 years. Currently, the Vatican Library has more than 1,1,000 volumes, 75,000 books, and more than 8,500 incunabula, while standing at the top of famous libraries in the world. The library has a fitting feature, and many other crucial medieval literature, the earliest complete manuscript of the Bible. Boston Public Library, Boston, Massachusetts, USA. One of the most beautiful libraries in the world, founded in 1848 and with its current collection of 22 million materials, the Boston Public Library was the first publicly financed library in the USA. There are two buildings at the Central Library, the Johnson Building and the McKim Building, which hold research collections and exhibitions. McKim was built in 1895 and featured numerous wonders, including the famous Holy Grail tale scene of Edward Abbey, and still holds a place in the top list of the most famous libraries in the world. There is also a single coffered ceiling at the main chamber of the McKim Building, Bates Hall. More than 1.7 million rarities, including medieval manuscripts, incunabula, and early shakes, are featured in the McKim Research Collection. Library of Parliament, Ottawa, Canada. The Parliament Library in Ottawa, Canada, has a particular distinction in our list. It is the only library of such importance that the currency of its picture, on Canada's bill of $10. Inspired by the British Museum Reading Room, this national monument has been designed with 16 flying buttresses, a vaulted ceiling, and a pine paneling white with highly intricate carving of flowers, masks, and legendary animals. There are about 600,000 pieces in the collection, curated by dedicated 300-member personnel, and that is why it deserves its place in the most famous libraries in the world. New York Public Library, USA. For its breadth and size, the New York Public Library was impressive. With over 50 million items in its collections, it has 87 libraries serving 3.5 million people all throughout the state, the third most extensive library in North America. The Rose Main Reading Room serves as a showpiece in the library, with its 52-foot length arched fencing, and a gold-painted ceiling. The library received the first Gutenberg Bible in America. It also includes collections focused on American literature, and printed materials. The library has been in many feature films as one of the most recognizable locations on our list. Thomas Fisher Rare Book Library, Canada. Thomas Fisher Rare Book Library, affiliated with the University of Toronto, has more rare books than any collection in Canada. The collection consists of rare objects, such as the Principia, 1687, in Nuremberg, Shakespeare's First Folio, 1493, and the cuneiform tablet from Babylon going back to 1789 BC. Robert S. Kenney, a member of the Communist Party of Canada, also provides a large portion of the collection. The unique library has about 25,000 works, emphasizing the history of the labor movement worldwide. National Library of Sweden, Stockholm, Sweden. All Swedish written and AV materials are maintaining in the National Library of Sweden. Since the 1500s, some sort of national biblical library bought collections from Swedish monasteries, which were afterward destroyed in the Reformation, but later still made feasible by war gains from the 30 Years' War. The library received a copy of the God's Bible from the 13th century. It was complemented by the contents of the Würzburg Bibliothek, and the Prague Royal Library during the 30 Years' War. Nowadays, there are about 20 million objects in the Swedish National Library. So, these are the most famous libraries in the world. If you are a book lover, you should visit at least one of these libraries. Because these are so awesome and wonderful places to have a visit. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up to the video. Don't forget to share this with your friends. Subscribe the channel for more important videos like this. Thanks for watching.